Hi there. Today we're talking about operators. An operator is nothing more than a tool, a symbol that's used to change the value in a programming statement. So for example, we have unary operators, and with a unary operator you only need one operator in your instruction, in your programming instruction. An example of this would be the subtraction sign in front of a 5 here. The subtraction sign turns this 5 into a -5, so you only need one operator to change the value here. Binary operators are different. Binary operators include the plus sign, multiplication sign, division sign, subtraction sign, and for example, if you wanted to add these two variables, int num1 plus int num2, you would use the plus sign here, but this would also have to have an equal sign in this same statement. That's why it's called a binary operator. If you have one of these, you also have to have an equal statement. You have to have two operators in one line, because this operator is going to take this value in this variable, and it's going to take this value in this variable, add them together, but then it has to do something with those, with the combination of these two variables, and it has to put it into this variable right here. That's why you also have to have this equal sign. So that's an example of a binary operator. You always have to have one operator here, and you have to have this equal sign here. So Java uses the order of operations, PEMDAS, which is parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. It's going to do those in the following order. So for example, if you have a statement that says DBL value equals 6 times 2 plus 8 divided by 4, well, which one of these operators is it going to act upon first? Is it going to act upon this plus sign? Is it going to take this 2 plus 8, make that into a 10, then multiply it by 6, and then divide it by 4? No. What Java is going to do is going to follow the order of operations. And so right here we have multiplication, we have division. Those come before addition and subtraction. So Java is going to do this multiplication first, and then it's going to do this division. So 6 times 2 is 12. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So we have 12 right here. We have 2 right here. So 12 plus 2 is 14. And then that 14 will go into DBL value. So Java follows the order of operations. Finally, the modulus operator that we're talking about today. The modulus operator is nothing more than give you then the remainder when you're dividing. For example, let's say we have 17 modulus 3. This is a better way of explaining this would just be to say 17 divided by 3. If we were to do this, our answer would be 5.3 something, I think. The modulus does nothing more than divide 17 by 3, and then what would be the remainder? Well, 17 divided by 3 is 5 with a remainder of 2. So that value of 2 would be what goes into DBL leftover. So that's what the modulus operator does. All right, so we talked a little bit about operators in general. Let's go ahead, let's open up NetBeans. I'm going to go to File, New Project here, Java Application, and you should have demo code available for you on the web. So I'm going to go ahead and call this crow3_011_ operator demo. And let's go ahead and make sure that create main class is checked off. I'm going to click on finish here. If you're working on this in the classroom, you're going to make sure desktop is where you're creating this. I'm going to right click, say new, Java class. And I'm going to call my class the same as my project, operator demo. Let's click on finish here. Here we are. So all you need to do is take the demo code that's already out there, copy and paste it into the program here, and we're going to make some changes. So the first thing that this program is doing is that we're declaring variables. Okay, right here we've got int number 1, int number 2. We've also got int leftover. We also have int answer. We're going to be putting code in here. So let's go ahead and let's do this. Go ahead and type. We're going to initialize variables right here. Let's say int number 1 equals 17. Int number 2 equals 5. So we've initialized our variables. Now let's find the int answer. So int answer equals int number 1 divided by int number 2. Whoops. So int number 1 divided by int number 2. 17 divided by 5 should be 5 point something. So we're going to find the remainder using the modulus operator. So int left over equals int number 1 modulus int number 2. So this right here is going to give us the actual answer, but notice that we're dealing with an integer here, so we might have some problems if we're trying to take a decimal and put it into here. Let's continue though. Let's go ahead and let's print the output to the screen. So system dot out dot print line int left over, and then I'm going to put a period in here. There we are. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's run this. So I'm going to right click compile, right click. So here it compiled. So right click, I'm going to go run. Alright, so here we are. Part 1, 17, which is my int number 1, divided by 5, which is int number 2, is 3. So notice that when we did our division here, it didn't even include any decimal because we're dealing with integers. 3 with a remainder of 2. So int left over right here had the value of 2. Alright, so let's do part 2 here. So this part of the program will focus on integer division. Let's look at this real quick. If we declare a variable, a double variable called dbl parts, and then if we set dbl parts equal to 28 divided by 5, if I go ahead and if I click on run file here, we're going to say part 2, the answer is dbl parts. So 28 divided by 5 is, what is that? It'd be 5 point something because 25 divided by 5 is 5. So actually we're dealing with decimal here, right? So if we put 5.3 or whatever it is into dbl parts, it should show up right here as the answer is 5.3 or whatever. Well, let's look and see what our command or our prompt down here said. The answer is 5.0. Well, this is strange. It says it's treating our division here like it's an integer. Here's why. If you don't put a decimal point in this number right here, then Java will assume that you're dealing with an integer, and it will treat these numbers as if they're integers, and it will only put an integer into dbl parts. For this to actually run correctly, you need to have a decimal point in this number right here. So if I take 28.0 divided by 5, Java will recognize that we're dealing with a double value right here, and it will actually then calculate it and give us our answer of 5.3 or whatever it is. So if I right click, if I go compile, if I just click on run again, now notice that our answer right here is 5.6. So if you are dealing with a number that you need to divide and you're trying to put that into a double variable, keep in mind that for Java to perform the correct calculation on it, it needs a decimal point right there so that it will perform the calculation on it using a decimal point. All right, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you later.